Now it's time to take a look at the all-new Forza Horizon 4. Joining us from Playground Games, let's welcome Ralph Fulton. Welcome!
Thank you.
You just revealed the game. How are you feeling?
We just did. I feel great. I feel better for not being on the stage anymore, but yeah, we feel great about it.
It looks absolutely gorgeous. Can you tell us a bit about the setting? Where are we going to be able to explore this time around?
Right, yeah, so ending months of speculation.
Yeah.
Forza Horizon 4 is set in beautiful, historic Britain.
It looks lovely.
It's a lovely country. We have, I guess, rediscovered over the last 18 months or so. Obviously, it's where Playground Games is located. I guess most of us probably grew up in that country as well.
Yeah.
And we agonized over where to set the game, as we always did, as we always do. And a bunch of people within the studio made a really great pitch for the UK, for Britain. And I'm delighted that they did, and they did it so well, and that we chose it because I think we've created the most authentic open world in Britain that we've ever done.
That's all. I mean, you are right there, so.
Well, we would have no excuse not to. Yeah. There's also kind of that pride, I think, right? And I think it's been a passion project for the team. They want to make sure that we're showing Britain at its absolute best.
Yeah.
And we know when something's not quite right. You know, maybe like we didn't in Australia. But
no comment.
Yeah,
no, it was
but
great.
certainly in Britain, we absolutely know when something's not quite right, and therefore I think our visual bar is higher than ever.
So, people talk about and make jokes about the weather in Britain being pretty rainy. You guys have a full season system here. How does it work?
So, and this is absolutely integral to, I think, to the pitch of the game. I don't think we could have done Britain if we didn't also do dynamic seasons, which is really, I think, the pivotal signature feature of Forza Horizon 4. Britain is a country which is like defined by its seasons. It's, you know, it's all we ever talk about, really.
Pretty much.
That's a generalization, but you know, like, we do love chatting about our weather, and our seasons are incredibly distinct. You know, not every country can claim that. Certainly, in the UK, it's true. So I don't think we would have done UK or Britain if we weren't doing seasons. I don't think we'd have done seasons and then not done Britain, because the two just really go hand in glove. I'm delighted that we have done it. It was a huge Herculean task to achieve dynamic seasons in an open world. But a bunch of really smart people and really hard-working people came together from all disciplines within the studio to make it a reality. And you can see it now in the footage that we're watching as we transition from autumn to winter, as is the way it goes. And you can see absolutely how completely
frozen over.
That does actually happen. That, again, that authenticity I was talking about. You can see how absolutely it changes the world. So this is exactly the location you were driving in just a few seconds previously in autumn, and it's now completely frozen over. You're jumping onto a frozen river here, which is probably less advisable. But you know, you can see as you go up the hill in the deep snow, you're sort of deforming it as you go, and the whole world has changed, not just in terms of the visuals, but in terms of the audio, in terms of the way the cars handle the driving experience and the gameplay that you'll have there.
So, do activities that are available also change depending on the weather?
They do, yeah, absolutely. And I think this is the really great hook that we have around dynamic seasons in Forza Horizon 4. It's not just, you know, a palette change. It's not just a visual tune-up that happens between seasons. The game is a shared open world, so everything is synchronized across all players.
Right.
So we are always in winter together, and then when it moves to spring, it does so for all the players. Yeah, everything is synchronized time of day, weather conditions, and seasons, as I said. And you will get different gameplay, you'll get different content, different events that happen in different seasons. So you've always got something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Kind of like you do in real life.
Yeah, well, mostly. It's been a very exciting week this week. So one thing that I kind of wanted to ask about, to get really specific, when it comes to things like collectible items like billboards or barn finds, do those also vary depending on season?
So I'll give you an example which is really pertinent to what we're looking at here. So this is a race finishing out on a frozen lake.
Yeah.
That lake is only frozen in the winter season for 3 seasons of the year. It looks like that. It's a big body of water. That's what a lake is.
Wow, thank you for that. Please talk more about lakes.
I'm full of facts like that. In the winter season, of course, when it is frozen, there are a couple of islands in that lake that you can gain access to that normally you wouldn't be able to. And I don't feel I'm giving too much away to say that there is a barn find on one of those things. So I think that's the perfect example of what you're asking about.
How is that going to work for things like blueprints, assuming that you have the player-created blueprint system coming back?
Yeah, and we do, and we've enhanced it, and that's, I guess, another story altogether. But yeah, I think your question is, how does that work across the seasons? I think we have to do a bit of checking with that. I think when you create something, whether it's a new championship or a new route, which is entirely new for Forza Horizon 4, you can create your own point-to-point or circuit events and design those circuits and point-to-points yourself. We do a bit of a check to make sure that your route doesn't take you through something which doesn't exist, for example, in a different season. There's a little bit of sanity checking happens behind the scenes.
Sounds difficult, but it looks like a lot of fun. And okay, I'm a huge fan of the Forza Horizon series in general, and since 2, I've been like, how are they going to make this better? And then 3, and I was like, you've done it. It's the pinnacle of arcade races. You could never improve upon this. It's perfect. So I wanted to ask, what are some of the other changes that you guys have added in? Yeah,
I mean, we got that a lot after Forza Horizon 3, and it's enormously complimentary, right? We were thrilled to have that feedback, and still.
Is it daunting as well, though? You're like, oh, we've made the perfect game. Oh, no.
Sure, yeah, I mean, I think it has to be. I think I'd have been more daunted if we didn't have the team we do back at Playground. We didn't have the great minds and the incredible work ethic that we have back at that studio. I kind of knew we would crack that in time, but sure, yeah, when you're starting out on a project like this, there is that voice in the back of your mind saying, well, what if they're right? I honestly feel like this is our best work ever. I think this is the best Forza Horizon. And it's the combination of 3 really big ideas, I think. 2 we've talked about already, like the setting in Britain, which has resulted in this incredibly authentic world. The fact that we have dynamic seasons, which is this huge thing for an open world game.
Absolutely.
And then the third thing, which we call living the Horizon life, and this is, I guess, how we frame up what you're going to do actually in this world of Britain with dynamic seasons. And living in the Horizon life just dovetails with those 2 ideas perfectly, in the sense that time is passing now, right? You have seasons, and time will pass in the open world as you live there, and maybe you're not going to Horizon just for a great holiday anymore, that perfect summer. Maybe you're actually going there to live, and we started thinking about what that would mean for the player. You're going to have to get yourself a house. You can't sleep in your car. You're going to have to get yourself a job. Obviously, you'll do so in a very Horizon style. It's not going to be mundane. But these are the things.
You're actually an accountant.
Yeah. There are some really fun jobs that you can get. You can be a stunt driver. You can be the guy or girl who drives the cars on an automotive magazine show, naming no names. So there's a bunch of different things that you can go out and do in what we call a feature we call Horizon Stories. You can customize your character. You can choose the outfits. You can choose the accessories. You can choose the emotes you use when you win in the game. So there's a whole lot more bedding in of your identity within the world.
I love that. I think that's a really creative idea, and that's so cool. Does that mean that when we're in our houses, we can physically get out of the car and walk around?
It doesn't, and that's. I think that's a question everybody asks, and it was a place that, to be honest, we just didn't really want to go.
Yeah.
For us, it's all about the cars. We have more than 450 in this game, which is a still more ludicrous number than last time. Yeah. And you'll be parking your car outside, and you'll be able to examine it in Forza Vista mode, which has been in the Forza series for a bunch of games now. But really, the house is all about having a base within the world, a place that you can call your own. And it being Britain, that house can be anything from a cute little cottage in the Cotswolds to Edinburgh Castle.
That's cool. I mean, we're just about to cut to a break, but I wanted to ask really quickly: is that going to be looped into the auctions in any way?
So Auction House does return. I'm not aware of any plans that we have to allow you to.
I know that would be like very next level, but
yeah, absolutely. Maybe if the job you get is a realtor or something like that. But I'm literally designing on the fly now.
Alrighty, it is time to take a break, everyone. But next up, we're going to be diving back into all the big reveals from the Xbox press conference.